everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's video, I thought I would do how I pick my colors out of a glitter gel pen set to color one of the mandalas in this book here, The Magic of Mandalas by that lady there. And hopefully it'll help somebody else when you're trying to pick colors. I do it a little bit different, and I just came up with kind of with my own system what makes sense in my head. So this is an 80 count, and these are all glitter gel pens, and I have used these. So basically what I really start out with, and this is why I end up, not having my favorites, is because I pick the colors that I like. And if you can look, this is, I'm showing this from the back so you can see, that there are some pens that are really low in color, because I have used them. So I kind of start out with just picking my favorites, like I said. I'm going to try to pick ones that I haven't really used out of this set. So I'm going to go with this one first. And basically what I do on a piece of scratch paper is I just put my color down. Okay, so it's like a pinkish purple color. And basically what I end up doing is picking the colors that I like that go with that color. So if you feel you're not comfortable doing that, you can always buy a color wheel. So we're going to go with like a red violet right here. So basically what you would do is turn this to where this main arrow is pointed on the color you're picking. And the best complement color would be a yellow green, and then you could split out and it would still be complementary with either a yellow or a green, or you could go out onto the spectrum and it would still kind of all come together. So I actually was going to pick a green to go with this one, more in this range, was where I was going to go with it. I initially thought about picking the colors beforehand, but I wanted to kind of take you through the thought process that I have. So I always pick 8 colors to do a mandala, and you can really pick as many colors as you want. I just found 8 is a number that works really well with the types of mandalas I like. I don't like them extremely busy, but I do like them busy. I do not like simpler, and I don't like fine detail ones. I mean, I love the look of them, but my eyesight is not the greatest due to another health issue, which we're not going to go into. But, so I pick in 8 color totals, but I pick in pairs. So like, yes, these match together. So now this next color, I'm going to pick a color that kind of bounces off of this color. So if you were to pull out your color wheel again, and I, again, do not use this. I got this for the purpose of my colored pencils. And for painting and watercolors, because I started getting into that, and when you mix 2 paints, you need to know what color that's going to make, which is on the other side of this color wheel. So this, whatever color you have, and then you add red, yet, your primary color is red, yellow, blue, white, and black. And it'll tell you, where you're at. So for blue-green, the complementary is a red-orange, but you can go this full spectrum. Now, we just did a red-violet here, so I don't think we should do that next to that one. So I'm going to lean more in this range for my next color. And it doesn't have to be exact. This set doesn't have a lot of oranges. So if I'm not sure about a color, I'll write it separate, because I want to keep this as kind of like my 8 colors. Sometimes it gets crazy and I have to redo it over. But there's no right or wrong. And that's the thing kind of with these, even if you don't pick the right color, it's easier to hide it, you know. And it's a mandala. So if you were to try to get on that, now I did like a fluorescent orange. So you'd be in that range. I'm probably gonna go with a blue. And I probably won't refer to that color wheel again here. I'll probably just finish. And so if anybody has any questions in regards to anything you see in the video here, just let me know. I'll try to answer. I think we're gonna go with that yellow. And then beside yellow, and I usually try to put in a mixture of colors, but I think the ones that are just a few colors mixed all together are really cool looking as well. So ready. And then when you get to the last color, you want to make sure it's going to look good next to this color as well, because you know it's gonna come up against that color again here in the mix of things. Now this is another reason I like the rayon set. I feel like I can get a good nice range. The tenements are very close. I think they're almost made in the same plant possibly. I don't know what to do. How about we do 2 greens together? Because that would look good next to that. Alright. And I thought I would color a little bit on camera for you guys. I've only done one in this book. This is my second book of hers. The first one's close to being done. So I've only done one, that first page there, and I'll zoom you in here. And so basically, this order that I had them, I laid them here beside my book that way, and I will keep them in that order. And basically, I just start with the first one and color the first section, even if it's just a little tiny thing. Then I go on to the next color. I hope this is looking all right on the camera. Having a very bad day with my eyesight. Yeah, I know, I pick a terrible day to do this, but I have to fit it in with the schedule lately. It's been crazy busy. Every time I turn around to record, and since I don't edit, as I don't know how yet, the phone's ringing for work. Since I record on my phone, it stops my recording when a phone call comes in. And I would have to start over. So I'm trying to be very quickly and kind of show you how I do my mandalas. I also thought I could read for something to fill, the silence with, is read a coloring tag. So I saw one a while back from Kirsty's Color and Sketch, and it is the Would You Rather. She actually did a more recent version when she was over at Debbie's house, Color Me Stress Free, and they did this coloring tag. So I figured I would read that while I color, and hopefully the phone don't ring. And we'll get done as much as we can. I also was thinking about maybe trying to learn how to edit and film doing an entire coloring page in glitter gel pen. I know a lot of people don't think you can do that, but you definitely can. I don't shade with my gel pens. So I think the people who can shade with gel pens, woo, I mean, I more power to you. I never learned that. I just do solid color, and I like it. But I like shading too, but I just never learned it. I've moved on to pencils, and I'm really trying to perfect using them and learning techniques with them. And now, of course, the watercolors are kind of, I'm still scared of them, so I'm not really doing a whole lot with them, but I'll get there. I just got to get more comfortable with it. So the coloring tag that I'm gonna read and answer the questions to is the Would You Rather, and I kind of thought it was interesting. So if anybody's watching this and you would like to do this coloring tag, again, it's originated from Kirsty's Color and Sketch. So I will link her video down below. And even, like I said, she did that quite some time ago. But I watched the more recent one with Debbie at Color Me Stress Free, so you can check out her video as well. I will link that one in the description. So the first question is, would you rather color in the same coloring book for the rest of your life or use the same medium for the rest of your life? So that's a hard one, but I picked the same medium because it doesn't say you can't rebuy, so I'm assuming you can just use that same medium, and when they get low, just buy more. as far as a coloring book, if that's the only coloring book, you would have to keep rebuying that same coloring book. And yes, you could color the pages differently, but that's just not my style. That's kind of like buying a book and reading it and then rereading it. I like to read, but I wouldn't probably reread a book. So I have rewatched movies over and over again, but yeah. Second question, would you rather color a page full of leaves or color a wallpaper style page? So if you watched the video before this, it is a double page spread of leaves. And I like patterns, and yes, I would do a wallpaper page because I'm a dork like that. I would do both. So yeah. Number 3, would you rather color fur or skin? Hands down, skin. I do an okay job there. I'm not the greatest. I've watched lots of videos, and I have looked at my books, and yeah, so, but I feel like I can do that better than fur. I recently just did a crow, and I was like, oh, but I got it done. It looked nice, but it wasn't great. So I definitely need to work on animals, feathers and fur a little bit more. And I'm heavy-handed, so it makes it hard because it's more of like a flicking technique. So I think that's half the battle there. And mine seem to be too thick lined, or too long, or too short. So yeah, skin definitely. Number 4, would you rather color a double page spread in Kirby book or a double page spread in a Clara Markova book? So I have Kirby Rosen books, and I have done the double page spreads in there quite a bit. The Clara Markova books, I do not have any. Not saying that I wouldn't, because I absolutely would, but the price of those books and the shipping puts them at like $60 a pop for me if I bought them individually. And I have paid that much for some books, but my fear is, and here's the thing, I know I'm gonna want them all, right? So, I've debated it, and so that's on my Christmas wish list for Christmas. All 4 of those, or 5 of those books from her. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get them for Christmas. And I already had messaged them before I asked for them for Christmas. If they were purchased all at the same time, is there a discount on the shipping? And there is. So it makes more sense to order them all at one time. So that's the only thing I've asked for Christmas. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it's coming my way. So can't wait. Would you rather color grayscale or line art? Grayscale all the way. And it also depends on the book. I have gotten Kristen Karen's books, which is in the next question, and I have gotten her grayscale and her line art when I first got it, just to see which one I liked better, and I definitely like the grayscale better. However, I also own books that don't have grayscale, and I like them just as well, but there's certain books that I just like. Christine Karen's, I prefer the grayscale. Number 6, would you rather color a page by Mystic Art Mirrors or Christine Karen? I don't have a Mystic Art Mirrors, so I can't really say on that one, but I do have several of Christine Karen's books, so I would pick that at this question. Number 7, would you rather color in silence or color with background noise? Definitely have to have background noise. I'm just one of those people that I have to have something playing, music, video, something has to be playing. Would you rather color with a mix of mediums and brands, or stick to one medium and one brand? So just in my personality, I tend to be very plain, simple, and straightforward. So I kind of stick to, so I'm weird. I'll go to a restaurant and I will figure out what I like best, and I'll order that every single time I go to that restaurant. I know it's ridiculous, but because I don't want to order something different and then not like it, because it's already a treat to be eating out. I had a very sheltered life with my kid's father. We just got takeout a lot. I mean, not a lot, but you know, that's all we did. We didn't eat out at all. So yeah. So when I'm coloring, I tend to be like, oh, I'm going to use this set of pencils, and I bring out that set of pencils. But I'm trying to get better about mixing. And of course, I found that I really like the Prismas and the Shuttle Arts, which is a budget brand pencil. Not a lot of people talk about it, but it has lots of greens, and I love greens, and I like botanicals. So it gives me the range that I want in the greens. So I do mix those two now. And I'm trying to do like mixed mediums with the watercolors and that kind of thing, and the accent stuff on my backgrounds and within the picture. So I'm growing in that area and expanding. Number 9, would you rather use a white gel pen or a white Posca pen? So personally for me, I would say Posca, just simply for the fact that it goes over most of the pencil work really easy, whereas the gel pen does not always go on over very easily. So that's one thing that I did find, though. I was doing some bubbles, not on this recent picture, but on another picture I did, and I put the glossy accents on the bubbles, and then I did the reflection on the actual glossy accent, and the white gel pen actually worked really well on the glossy accent. Wrote right on it, really nice. I was really surprised. So if you didn't know that, if you have it thick enough and it's smooth, your white gel pen will write on glossy accents. So, number 10, would you rather color in the morning or color at night? Both, please. Yeah, I'm just slightly obsessed with coloring, to say the least. So I would do both, but if I had to pick one or the other, I would say morning, because I'm a morning person, and that's when I am most productive and get the most accomplished. So, morning, and it's quiet. I would get up at the crack of dawn, or even before the crack of dawn, just to get my quiet time. Yeah. I would skip out on the sleep just for quiet time. I know sleeping is quiet time, but I would rather sit and do my own thing. So, number 11, would you rather color a page using a YouTube tutorial or color a page using a tutorial from a book? For example, the Color Special Effects book by Helen Elliston. So, as far as that's concerned, I know it was would you rather, but mine is a lot of both. So I do both. I watch a lot of videos on YouTube learning technique and how to improve my skill. And I also own all of Helen Elliston's books. And I do refer to them and I do use them. So if you've been thinking about them, my suggestion would be to buy them because they are really nice. And they do teach you, and it's step by step. Now it does go by the pencils in the book she's using are Prismacolor, so that's helpful for me because I mostly do use my Prismacolors. And, you know, that's very helpful. She tells you the colors to use. Number 12, would you rather color food or glass? So I haven't done a whole lot of either of these, but I think I'm going to go with food on this one. Because glass is pretty difficult, I think. I have a hard time making it realistic with pencil. So I use the glossy accents a lot. So I cheat a little bit on that end of it. Would you rather color in Jasmine Beckett Griffith books or Jade Summer books? So I'm going to go with Jade Summers on this one, simply for the fact that I own Jade Summer books, mostly the mandalas or pattern books. The Jasmine Beckett Griffith, sorry, I said that wrong the first time, didn't I? Beckett Griffith. They're not really something I've colored or have a desire to. Maybe if I saw one of the books in person, I would change my mind, but just seeing them on flip-throughs and stuff, they just don't pique my interest. Not that there's anything wrong with them. Like I said, I just don't own them. Number 14, would you rather color a color by number book or a mandala book? So if you watched any other videos on my channel, you would have picked up by now I like mandalas. I have only purchased one color by number book, and I didn't think I would like them, but I thought I saw one from Color Questopia on a flip through, and I went ahead and I thought I'm gonna get it. And I was really surprised. I really enjoyed the color by numbers because you don't have to think about picking a color. Sometimes when you're really stressed out, that's really helpful. And you can keep coloring, because sometimes when I'm really stressed out and I just can't pick colors, I just don't color. Which doesn't happen very often, but it has, you know, a few times. So I'd still go with mandalas because they are my favorite, but color by number is growing on me. 15, would you rather use watercolors forever or use alcohol markers forever? Well, hands down, I'm going to go with watercolors because I suck at markers. I look like the average 5-year-old when I color with markers. So, yeah. And watercolors, since I've tried them, I mean, honestly, they're just so much fun, to be quite honest. If you haven't tried them, I mean, just pick up something cheap and try it, because not the like, you could get watercolor pencils, but like get some kind of pan, you know, the ones in the pans, because they're just fun. It's fun to paint, and it's kind of therapeutic. So I would suggest watercolors because it works. Number 16, would you rather color a Christmas page in June or color an Easter page in December? I'm gonna go with Christmas in June. I don't do a whole lot of seasonal coloring until this year, so I have done some Christmas pages. I haven't done any Easter, but I just see myself leaning more towards Christmas than an Easter page, so that's why I went with Christmas. Number 17, would you rather color on CreateSpace paper or on Pantone paper? So I don't think I have any books that are CreateSpace paper, and if I do, I don't realize it. And I've never colored anything on Pantone paper, but I have seen people color on it on YouTube, and it looks so nice. So I would go with the Pantone paper, because I've heard some things about Creative Space paper, and I'm assuming from the polite comments that it's not the greatest paper. So yeah, I'll go Pantone. Number 18, would you rather color with Prismacolor Premier pencils or Arteza pencils? Hands down, Prismacolors. And you know, that always wasn't the case, because when I first started using pencils, I started out with, you know, Crayolas, and started with Castle Art and Artezas. You know, budget friendly, even though they're not as budget friendly now. Black Widows. And my boyfriend got me the Prismas, because at the time they were like $100, and I just thought that was outrageous to spend on pencils. Go figure. 100 then to 100 now is like, what? That's nothing. Compared to my luminance set, which I use sparingly because they cost a lot of money. And if you've ever seen my video on my Prismas, yeah, they're actually they're sitting here right beside me. I can show you. So they're pretty, there's some that are pretty worn down, and I have some backups, but that's only having them about a year. These are backups here, and I have a few in another little protective thing. I love them. So yeah, Prisma's all the way for me. I still use the Arteza, but it's one of those things where I kind of just have to remind myself to get them out and use them. The same kind of goes with the Castle Arts. I think I just don't like the color selection or the ranges that they have in the color selections. But nothing against the pencils. But I still use them here and there. And number 19, would you rather color a background or color the main image first? So I always end up going in first for the main image. I haven't ever done a background first. Even when I've watched the color along where the person on there did their background first, which was just coloring in with black Posca. I didn't do it first. I did it last. So I think it's just kind of how my mind works and why I want to do it that way. Number 21, would you rather rip a page out of a book that has gone wrong or preserve and rescue the page? I would preserve and keep going. I don't know that I would rescue the page, but I definitely would keep trying to finish it. I only have a handful of pages that are like that and were not finished. So I always try to finish my pages. I've never thrown a page out unless it completely got ruined, which hasn't happened. But if it got completely ruined, you know, ripped out, you know, holes in with the markers or something like that, I would throw it out or rip it out and throw it out, because I just went through it. But I don't think I'll get that way. 22, would you rather color in a hardback book or a softback book? Definitely the softbacks are easier on the spine and easier to lay flat, but I would prefer the hardback just simply for the collecting purposes and it lasting longer, in my opinion, than the soft. So yeah, I would go with hardback. And then that was the last question. It says there's a bonus question of who is your favorite artist, and that's super hard for me because there's just so many great artists out there. I'm having a hard time even to pick one. I mean, I can just start naming off, you know, Mariola, Budek, Gracia Salvo, Kirby Rosen, Maria Troll, Hannah Carlson. There's just so many that I actually like. I just would have a hard time saying which is my favorite because I float around in their books. Now, Maria Bodek is one of my new ones. And I got 3 of her books and haven't colored in a single one. But that's just their portraits, so I'm intimidated a little bit and I don't want to mess them up, but I will get there. That's on my my agenda. So basically this month I've been, and that was the end of the tag, so but this month I've been working on trying to get now I worked on Colornopoly for Sarah Chronic Down Under. I had gotten 6 rolls with her. Sorry if I have been off camera. So I got 6 rolls with her and I got those all done. And now I've just been working on my not colored in shelf. Every once in a while I'll take a break and get a book I really want to color in. But I'm trying to color in the new books that I've been buying the last several months. I kind of went on a little spending bender where I bought a lot more than I normally would book-wise. So, and I have a rule that I have to color in them. So when I first moved, my boyfriend made a rule that I had to color in so many to get new. I get what I want when I want it, but we have that rule. I don't know how well it's gonna pan out, but I've done really well this month. I'm gonna film that next. I have a very, very, very small haul for the month. It was a tight month due to my clumsiness. And I had a big boo-boo, so it cost me a little bit of extra money that I wasn't counting on. So yeah, I technically bought 5 books, but they're all the same book. I saw them on yard sale site and I couldn't find them anywhere, so they must not be on print anymore. Nothing special, but I thought I could get one of them and give the other 4 away for what I paid for them. So, all right, guys. So I did the first 8 colors. So now you got to go back in and start from back at the beginning. So since these are just little dots and I only did a little dot there, I'm going to actually color this part here this color. Should have had another tagged questions to answer because I didn't know what to talk about. It's been raining here for 2 days. I'm like, I'm so over it. It's like, be gone, rain. I know we need it, but I don't want it. It makes it extra gloomy in the house. And my coloring space is a center room in the house. So it has no windows. It originally did, but they added on to the house at one point, and so the window got closed in or taken out. And we did not want to put any of the kids in here without an exit in case, there was an emergency, as well as the furnace is directly below this room. So if there was a fire with the furnace, whoever's bedroom this would be, obviously would have less opportunity to get out safely. With that being said, I do worry about my coloring things. I already said to my boyfriend, you just open the bedroom window because I'll be taking trips and throwing the books outside. I don't even care if they get damaged, as long as they're not burned up. So let's just hope that never happens. But I did think about that when that was all, we were talking about that, as long as everybody makes it out safe, obviously, it's all right. But can you imagine your years of all this work just gone? It's so sad. And then, of course, that got me thinking, well, what about when I die? Will any of my kids take this stuff? Will they keep it? I just hope I get a grandkid that likes it. And they'll just take it all and continue on. I have a few storybooks that I'm gonna color for my grandchildren one day. Ivy and the Inky Butterfly is one of them. It's one of my favorite books, so I plan to complete it, and hopefully I will have a granddaughter one day, since I had no daughters. My family were full of women, and then I had all boys. My father had 4 daughters to 3 different women. And so there's an older sister, half sister to me, and she has 2 daughters. And then my sister, who's 2 years younger than me, had the next grandchild. Now, my dad died when I was 10 in a car accident. Working. So he is no longer with us. And he was gone before, I was 10, my sister was 8, so he was gone before that. But she had his next grandchild, which was also a girl. and then I had my first son, which was his first grandson. And he had 4 girls total, no boys. There's a younger sister, half sister to us as well, and she has no kids. My sister ended up having a son after I had my first son, and then of course I had 2 more. So he thought he was only going to have daughters, and then he ended up with some sons. So my oldest sister told me he would have been so proud of that. So that's really nice. And I'm not sure why I went into all that. Oh, shit. Yeah. So, to the mandala here, I just keep following the pattern out. Sometimes you have to decide, you know, where you want to put the color next. You know, so I just decided to go on this inside. And I think I'm going to do the same thing where I make these dots the same as this rim. So I'm going to make this outside rim the same as this green to kind of match this pattern in here. You don't want to have too little color or too much color of one color, because it kind of gets lost, kind of like in the center there. I really need to have some notes wrote up of things to talk to everybody about. I really just don't know. I think that's why lives are so much better, because you can actually carry on a conversation with someone, whereas when you're doing these, you're just talking to yourself. It's so one-sided. Sorry. Stupid joke. But yeah, hopefully I talk loud enough too, because sometimes I get quiet as I'm talking, and I don't mean to. And of course, the further out you get on the mandala, the more time it takes. So it feels like it's taking forever right now. So I'm just going to, after I finish this one here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just finish out to the edge for you so you can see how I would do it. And I am going very fast with this. So, and like I said, my eyesight's not the greatest today, so I'm sure there's going to be some white spots. So what I'll end up doing is letting it dry. So that's a suggestion. If you do start seeing, you know, sometimes with this paper, it'll soak up your pens. So I let it dry, and then you'll see some white streaking, especially with the glitter gel. I don't use regular gel pens, just glitter. But you'll see maybe some streaks of white in there, and it's just I feel like it's not necessarily you missed it, but it's more the paper soaking in the pen, and it pulls it away from that spot. So it's kind of what I think. So I just suggest, and I used to do these especially on the Color It books, because they're very smooth paper. And I would let them dry, and then I would go over them the next day with the same color again in those spots where it was showing the white. So hopefully that's helpful to know. And you see how this blue was supposed to be next to the orange, but it's not. It's actually next to the Tilly green color. And it still looks good. So when you do, I always suggest doing this sample thing, and when you're looking at your colors, you know, does that just look good together? If something doesn't look good, take it out, you know, switch the color around, because you can get a different variation of a color and it works so well together. And sometimes you won't, but it still doesn't matter. I mean, if you're coloring for perfection, you know, some would say don't pick something else because, you know, it's all in the eyes of the beholder, right? So you might not like it, and a lot of times I don't like my stuff, but I post it anyways, and people, I've never really had anybody be mean about anything. I just find it so odd when people say, like, people message them, other creators, you know, and I'm just like, God, people really, like, isn't there enough hate in the world? Like, just move on. Like, I just don't understand why people have to be so mean. Who cares what we do or how we do it? Don't like it, don't watch it. I don't know. Like saying to Lily on Art Journey about her credit card, emailing her. Like, why? Why did you waste your time to email this poor woman about her credit card? Number one, who cares? It's in her name. It's her choice what she does with it, you know? Like, really? Like, and you don't know her finances. You don't know, like, my mom doesn't, she doesn't carry cash. She pays for everything on her credit card. And then she pays the credit card at the end of the month. So she only has one bill to pay. And she gets rewards. So she gets to buy lots of free stuff with the rewards on Amazon. Which I now am doing because I have my Amazon card now. And I already made like $13 just on purchases. So that gets me a free coloring book, basically. So now my problem is I don't pay mine off completely. But I'm getting there. It'll be paid off, and then once I have it paid off, I'm not going to charge it up again. I'm just going to buy a minimum of something a month that I can pay off, and I'm going to build up them rewards. I did buy I bought a treadmill, so I couldn't afford it all at once, but I really need it because of being stuck in the house, and I just got to get down there and use it. But they were having a really good sale on the NordicTrack. And yeah, I was like, let me just get this. And I was gonna outright buy it, but they gave me the credit card offer, so I thought, what the hell. I only had one other credit card to build credit on. So I thought, let's just charge a treadmill, and I just gotta pay it off now. But I might wait till after Christmas, just so I can spend my money on Christmas. Here. So here we're gonna do and you know, these probably aren't the greatest colors that I could have picked, but it was really just to kind of show you. Now that I'm kind of looking at them, I'm like, do I even like this? Once it's done, it'll look better. Sometimes, you know, your stuff doesn't look well until it's done. There's sometimes when I watch people from start to finish, I'm like, ugh. And that's what I got to get out of my head. The part that looks messy, because it's going to look messy before it looks nice. It's just the way you put in the detail. So, and if you want to see this page completed, just check out my completed pages. Probably next week. And yeah, you'll be able to see the completed, what it looks like. And I'll make sure I go back over it. I also don't have my big overlay on because it puts a shadow on whatever I'm working on here. So yeah, I will make sure I get that on and make sure I got everywhere that I probably might have missed. So that's how I would finish and just kind of work my way out. So hopefully this helps you guys that were struggling with making color choices. And if you come up with any questions, feel free to reach out and ask me. That's what we're all here for, to help each other in our each individual color journeys, you know. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.